and your partner are coming out. First two will come out, get into their tableau. And who was first? Determined, showing us what determined is. And remember, they say the word determined as soon as they are set up. Their word is your cue for number two to come in. You do the same thing, set yourself up, give your word fast. Remember the stage. If we don't want to pile in the center, we want to spread out. We want high, low, medium, whatever you'd like to do. And what did we do at the end when everybody was out and everybody was set up?
We all said Maniac.
We all said Maniac McGee. So who's the last one? Who's the last group?
Ignorant.
So when these two come out, they set themselves up and give us the strong ignorant. That's our cue for all of us to come out with Maniac McGee. The program is extending the students' reading comprehension, vocabulary, and text comprehension, but using theater and dance to help promote that increase in comprehension.
Okay, so the reason we're putting you in these groups is because we want you to warm up together, because you're just about to do something together. And one of the things that actors always want is to be able to work very well with their fellow actors. So we're going to start with that emphasis in mind. Now, when actors are speaking, what do they want? Yes?
To be heard.
To be heard. Easy sounding concept, let's make sure it happens, okay? We want to be heard. What we're doing now, I want to see whether together you can say your word by looking at each other and saying it at the exact same time. And this is what's called ensemble building or collaboration, that you start getting a sixth sense for each other, that you don't need to say, okay, 1, 2, 3, go. You just know. And you all have been working on this, so I can see you're getting better at it. You're thinking, how can I physically display this word and then say, announce it together?
I wasn't really into theater before, but it's a lot fun for me now, and it's a great way to interact with kids.
Determined. Fast. Brave. Nice. Friendly. Misunderstood. Happy. Optimistic. Different. Ignorant. Maniac McGee.
Did we hear everybody? You guys were a little uneven because you were a little hesitant there before. We couldn't hear you. I think the same thing with you all. You were a little hesitant. One of the first acting jobs anybody needs to do is act confident. That's the very first one. So let's just start with that, okay? If you're confident, you can say it loudly.
So over the last 3 years, I've been working, going to conferences, workshops in improving my ability to teach reading. And this fits well because there are many things that we do in reading: connection, inferences, imagining scenes, that this just brings together many of those parts of reading skills into the classroom, and it makes me feel stronger when I can get up in front of the class and present to the class, present to these students, my customers, that I have the skills to be able to help you get through what we're supposed to get through. And personally, it feels good. And we will see the last two, the second group that we didn't see, talk about what we liked, and then we have some other things we're going to put together, hopefully, with that at the end. I'm gaining the knowledge that I want to gain about theater. I'm able to pass it on to the kids.
Let's talk for 1 second about what tableaus give you as actors. What are you really concerned about in a tableau? Where's your focus? Think about your body. Think about your face. Luke.
Expressions.
Expression. If you can have a strong expression still and really be aware of all your choices, then that's the beginning building block of being able to walk and do the same thing. So the better you can get at tableaus, the better you will be as an actor, because it really focuses your energy.
It's like a new twist on theater for me because like when I've done like plays where it's just a scene and you're moving, so doing it still really helps like you to understand your character better.
The lineup. You guys are in the lineup.
Well, from the beginning, 90% of them were quite eager. They jumped right into it. Their skill level was different. Many of the kids have been in plays and productions in town. Other kids who haven't were still eager to take part in what was going on.
Yeah, hold up your fingers. You gotta be going. All right. All right, let's see one. Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember your faces. Remember every part of your body. Their skills have improved. If you'd been here 2 months ago when we were trying to freeze and try and get facial expressions, they would only concentrate on their face and their body. They'd forget all about that part. So if we talked about the body, they'd forget about their face or their eyes. And now they're getting to the point when they know that they're freezing in character. They're thinking about everything that becomes part of that character.
Run through it all again.
So this time I'm here,
On your own, and then we're going to do
and
a
then the second one.
Second scene.
See if you can do it with the silent leader that you're all following.
The students have learned to be even more open.
Try not
We
to
have a
talk
fairly
in
comfortable
between if you
classroom,
can
but
avoid it.
having them express themselves in ways that they may not have before we started doing theater has helped them become more open and more understanding in the classroom. When we do the activities in the classroom, I remember when we did those in our summer workshops with the Flynn. But I can remember my experiences and then look at the students going through the same things. So it was great that the Flynn put us through the steps before we came into the classroom. We had the experience ourselves, and we could remember back to what we were feeling, but also gain knowledge watching the students do it.
Once we did this, you can actually like know what the character's thinking.
Just by being in their body.
Yes.
Yeah?
Cool. Looks good. All right. Good job.
It was really interesting because you could like tell a scene through just a snapshot or
That's because you were really expressive actors. Try to stay in character between beginning, middle, and end, as far as your energy.
It was a really fun experience to do, and it really makes you understand like the book that we did, and it'd be good to have it throughout more schools because it gives kids a break from what they're normally doing, and it's a fun way to, I guess, learn more.
What did you like? Let's give them some positive feedback on this. What did you see that was interesting? It helped you understand everything. Hannah.
I liked it how Bryn was like, when she was like the frog, she was like on the chair, so it looked like she was like in the air, like flying.
Okay, use the chair to be in the air. Yes.
Well, when I was a frog, I had trouble coming up with a face. So Bryn's face for a frog was pretty good.
What did she do?
Yeah,
Can you
what was
describe
it? That's a good point.
Sort of like eyes sort of wide and their cheeks sort of bulged.
Bryn, can we see your frog face here?
From the beginning, many of the students who I didn't think would be all that eager, they've been willing, but they've not quite, in the beginning, they didn't quite buy into it. They would be willing for a little while and then be tired about or lazy about it and maybe go off to the side. There were a couple of students that have improved tremendously. Some of them who I didn't think would be able to last through the program, and they're part of a production, I think, and they're given a piece to play, a part to play, and they have that responsibility, and they must be just responding to that responsibility. I'm not sure where it came from, but it worked.
I kind of felt that we gave Maniac, he used to be just like a character in a book, but we gave him all the characteristics and all the other things.
All these things that you all listed.
He never got farther west than the far curve of Hector Street because McNabb and the Cobras were there to meet him, grinning, leering, hissing. Well, personally, one anecdote is I'm actually going to be part of the school play for the first time in 17 years. I just signed up for a part last week, so it's the first time that I'm going to have the nerve to get up on stage. Yo, baby, we hear you got a little pizza prize there. Come on back. We missed you. We've been waiting for you. So he turned and started walking north on Hector, right down the middle of the street, right down the invisible chalk line that divided the east end from the west end. Cars beeped at him. Drivers hollered, but he never flinched. The Cobras kept right along with him on their side of the street. So did a bunch of East Enders on their side. One of them was Mars Bar. Both sides were calling for him to come over. And then they were calling at each other. Then yelling. Then cursing. But nobody stepped off a curb. Everybody kept moving north. An ugly, snarling black and white escort for the kid in the middle. And that's how it went. Between the curves, smack dab down the center, Maniac McGee walked, not ran, right out of town.
Could you all stand up? And as Rich reads the description of what you all are doing, I would like you to get your bodies into it in kind of a moving way, okay? Imagine Maniac McGee walking down here, okay? Just try to get into the feeling of this as he begins to describe what you're doing, okay?
And move a little bit away from the middle because he's out in the middle of the street all by himself. And you're off on the curb. You didn't come off the curb at this point. So he never got further than the west curb of Hector Street because McNabb and the Cobras. Which side?
This side.
Okay, McNabb and the Cobras were there to meet him. Grinning. You're moving around with you're getting into the scene.
Come on, show it, guys.
Leering. Hissing. Yo, baby. We hear you got a little pizza prize there.
Okay, that's the attitude, guys. Let's see it in your faces. Go.
Come on back. We missed you. We've been waiting for you. So we turned and started walking north. The Cobras kept right along with him. So did a bunch of East Enders on their side. One of them was Mars Bar. Both sides were calling for him to come over. And then they were calling at each other. Then yelling. But nobody stepped off a curb. Everybody kept moving north. An ugly, snarling, black and white escort for the kid in the middle. Now we're going to let you move around, getting yourself into character, and we'll give you a countdown to a freeze. And you choose where you are in this part, whether you are cursing, snarling, calling people over, yelling to Maniac in the beginning. Your choice, but when we freeze, we want to see you as one of the East Enders or West Enders.
Okay, are we ready? So, the beginning, you guys are just coming together and you're telling him to come back. I'm going to count to 3. Have it in your face, your shoulders, your legs, your knees, every part of you. Okay? And 1, 2, 3. Come on back. Okay, good. And now, show me the middle where you're yelling at each other. 1, 2, 3, and passionate. Go. And the ending, when you see him walk out of town. 1, 2, 3, freeze.
Well, I think you get a better sense of like the point of the book because you're seeing how different people interpreted it, and then finally making like one decision on what we think it's like. So you think of it a completely different way.
Now, the ending out of town, there was no description on that. No description. All we know is that he went out of town. So allow yourself to really think, would I start turning around? Would I start yelling at my friend? What would I be doing? You all kind of look that way, but you know, allow yourself other options. Okay, we're going to put all that together, guys. You know why we're putting it all together? Because this is the last time I'm going to be in this class with you all. And I think you're ready to have all this memory on you. So we're just going to, this is going to be a wild ride, but we're going to do it. Okay? So, you remember where you are right now? That's where you're going to go after you've done your McNabb scenes. Joe McNabb and the Frog. Okay, guys, try to focus your entire way through this.
Determined. Fast.
Nice. Friendly.
Misunderstood.
Happy.
Optimistic.
Different.
Maniac McGee.
Stay frozen. Right, in your lines. Across the floor.
Maniac McGee.
Their enthusiasm has been strong throughout, and when I'm reading a literature book at this point, I see them making motions to mimic some of the actions or emotions that the author is putting into the text without even being prompted. They're doing a play as I read the book.
Some of your faces when you were taunting each other, you're good at that. And your bodies, you know, the way you were crunched up or stretched out, were really good. That part was excellent. Give yourself a nice round.
It transfers throughout the curriculum, not just in literature or language arts.
Let's have 3 comments of things that went well. Went well. If there was a reviewer in the group, what would they be saying? Allie.
Well, the first thing that we did with like the happy optimistic thing and stuff like that, that went well.
Yeah, okay, what word would you give it? What adjective would you give it?
I would give it like people knew what they were doing.
All right, absolutely. What else? Following directions, key aspect of a actor, and also you were following your cues beautifully. Emily.
I thought we did a good job until this, well, yeah, with changing from the words to the scenes to the,
Oh, yeah. Whew, great. Good silent leading, too. Nobody was going, what do we do now? How do I do it? You just went. Aaron.
I also thought, like, again, I thought everybody had really good expressions for the yelling at each other and all that.
You bet.
I was a little hesitant in the beginning if I wanted to commit to this, and now I'm quite happy that I did commit to the 2-year program. Looking forward to getting together and deciding what we'll go through next year's training before we come in, and then the Flynn comes into our classrooms like you've just seen to help the teachers hone their skills in theater and reading comprehension together. So was hesitant, glad I've done it, and I'm looking forward to finding out what's in store for us next year. And maybe even after that, it's only a 2-year program, but maybe we can put something together and make it last a little bit longer.